How to teach syllable division with words that have 3 consonants between the vowels. As our readers move from reading single syllable words to longer words, they need to be armed with strategies to help them break apart these longer words into smaller chunks. Otherwise, they may just guess at or even skip over longer words while they're reading. Learning how to recognize syllable types can help our readers find common patterns they know in longer words. The syllable types we've explored in this video series so far include closed syllables, open syllables, silent E syllables, R-controlled syllables, vowel team syllables, and consonant plus LE syllables, or sometimes called final stable syllables. Today I want to talk about a harder pattern that can be found in nearly all syllable types, and that is the VCCCV pattern. Now, sooner or later, our learners will encounter these words, and they not only have 1 or 2 consonants between the vowels, but 3 consonants. What are they to do now? Well, never fear, there are some simple steps we can teach our readers to help them when they encounter these tricky words. Now, keep in mind that these steps already assume that learners know how to break apart easier 2-syllable words. When it's time to teach this tricky syllable division, I advise you to teach these simple steps. Just like many of our other syllable types, we want to locate the consonants in between the vowels. So we have to find those vowels first, and then we have to look in between the vowels to see how many consonants we have. And of course, with this one, there's going to be 3 consonants. Once we've focused in on those 3 consonants, we need to look for blends, digraphs, or welded sounds, sometimes called glued sounds, within the 3 consonants. So we may have blends, and they could be beginning blends or ending blends like BL and MP, digraphs like PH or TH, or welded sounds like ANK, which is ank, and ING, which is ing. So those are our blends, digraphs, or welded sounds, and your learners need to be familiar with these already. Now, it's important to remember this. Blends, digraphs, and welded sounds like to stay together in the same syllable. The last step to remember with this pattern is usually, and I'm emphasizing usually, one consonant, the first consonant, goes with the first syllable when the word is divided, while the 2 remaining consonants go with the second syllable. But this is not always the case, as we'll see with an example in this video, but usually it is. Let's try these steps with a few words. First, we need to locate the vowels. It may help to lightly circle, underline, code, label them. Then we're going to locate the consonants in between the vowels. And here we see we have 3, and we have N, S, and T. And once we've established there's 3 consonants and what they are, we want to look for patterns we know, blends, digraphs, or welded sounds within those consonants. Now we can see here that we have the ST blend. And remember, just like digraphs and our welded sounds, blends like to stay together in the same syllable. Also remember that the first consonant usually goes with the first syllable, while the remaining 2 consonants usually go with the second syllable. So this is how we would divide the word. And if we read it, it might sound like this: instant, which we would say that's not a real word. We're going to correct it to instant. Okay, let's try another word. First, we want to locate the vowels. We're going to color code them here and label them. Then we need to locate the consonants in between the vowels. We have 3 again. We have N, D, and R. And once we've established we have 3 consonants, we want to look for those patterns. We want to look for blends, digraphs, or welded sounds within those 3 consonants. And in this word, we have a dilemma now because we have ND, that is a blend, and we also have DR. So what are we to do now? but it helps us to remember what usually happens when we split the consonants up, when we split the syllables up. The first consonant usually goes with the first syllable, while the remaining two consonants usually go with the second syllable. So the DR blend would go with the second syllable in this word. And after we've divided it into syllables, we'll read each syllable and blend the word. Hundred. All right, let's try one more word. The first step is to find those vowels. We'll label them, color them. We can underline them however we want to label them or show them. Then we're going to locate the consonants in between the vowels. And again, we see here we've got 3, N, D, and B. Once we've located those consonants, we're going to look for blends, digraphs, or welded sounds within those 3 consonants. Now in this word, I see a familiar one. ND, we had it in our last word. And I remember again that blends like to stay together. Of course, we know that DB is not a blend or a digraph or a welded sound, so our only option is the ND. Now, step 3 tells us that usually only the first consonant goes with the first syllable, but in this case, the first and second consonant go with the first syllable because why? Yes, blends like to stay together in the same syllable. Let's read each syllable. We have sand, box, which of course is sandbox. Now I want you to notice something special about this word too. It's a compound word. Compound words should be broken down or divided into their 2 individual words. So they're not going to follow the step number 3 we talked about, where usually the first consonant goes with the first syllable. Occasionally, you'll find other words like this too. So we've got words like pumpkin and athlete. Notice that both the first and second consonants are going with the first syllable in these words. So you can see the MP blend in pumpkin as well as the TH digraph in athlete, and they like to stay together in the same syllable. So there's a couple things to note here. Words with this pattern may feel intimidating to our readers, but I think teaching these simple steps for breaking them down is very helpful. It can help them feel like they can conquer the word. Many learners will be ready to learn this pattern after they have mastered the closed syllable words with only 2 consonants between them, words like mitten or tennis. But the triple consonant pattern also appears when teaching other syllable types, so we can point them out then too. So like I think about the CVCE pattern in the word explode. You've got the CVCE pattern at the end of that word. In the R control patterns, like in the word orchard, you've got 3 consonants in the middle. Or even in the final stable syllable pattern, like in the word thimble, you've got 3 consonants. And of course, the consonant LE or final stable syllables, they follow a little different way to break down those syllables. I have created some printable and digital task cards that you can snag from my shop to help your learners work on this trickier syllable division. The words included in this resource do go beyond just closed syllables, so keep that in mind if you snag it. Now, if you're looking for more digital and printable task cards related to syllable types, I have several to choose from in my shop. The link to find them all is in the description for you. Thanks for joining me at This Reading Mama, where you'll find hands-on learning for home or school.